Hey everyone, in this video I wanted to provide some insights into what's going on with Rivian stock. This information here is straight from Rivian's CEO, so let's dig right in and let's see what's going on with Rivian stock. So one of the main things that's happening is the company is driving material cost reductions through commercial and engineering design updates, including the integration of their in-house dual motor in the R1 product line. Now, this is not in what management is saying in this part here, but Rivian drove $35,000 of per vehicle gross profit in the most recent quarter, meaning they improved the gross profit on their cars by $35,000 just in one quarter. So there was evidence of what the CEO was saying here in tangible improvement in gross profit. Another thing that's happening is they are expanding their physical, digital, and mobile footprint and took important steps during the quarter to improve their charging experience. The CEO doesn't mention it in detail here, but Rivian did make a deal with Tesla to get access to their charging stations. During the second quarter, they produced 13,992 vehicles, which was a huge jump of 50% compared to the first quarter. That may be something that investors were actually disappointed about, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. So stay tuned as to why that I say that might be the case. 70% of the R1 units produced during the second quarter were R1S vehicles. So if you're not aware, Rivian produces the R1S, which is the SUV, and they also produce the R1T, which is the pickup truck. During this particular quarter, 70% of their vehicles produced were the R1S. This is the one they've been behind on in terms of balancing demand and supply. There's been a lot more demand for the R1S, but Rivian has been slower to ramp up production of the R1S because they wanted to get things right. They wanted to get things cost effective. And so this quarter they were able to do that. And interestingly enough, the R1S is more profitable than the R1T. This can partly be due to the fact that the R1S has a higher average selling price, so that could explain a big reason why it's more profitable than the R1T, but it's good news for Rivian stock investors that Rivian is ramping up production of the R1S. And so here's the area where I'm going to talk about why the 50% increase led to a disappointment from Rivian stock investors. The company is increasing their 2023 production guidance to 52,000 total units. 52,000. The previous target was for 50,000 total units. So they only increased it by 2,000 units, despite the fact that they had a massive improvement of 50% quarter over quarter in production, which means if you calculate out the production so far in the first half of the year, see what's left in the second half, it means there is not going to be an improvement like the one they experienced from the first to second quarter. The third and fourth quarter is likely to have very similar production numbers as the second quarter, around 14 or 15,000 units produced. So investors were a little bit disappointed, saying, what, you did that big of a jump from Q1 to Q2? Couldn't you do a little bit better from Q2 to Q3 and Q3 to Q4? And the answer is maybe, but maybe management is saying let's be safe and give a cautious upgrade for the year, and if things go well in the third quarter we can upgrade it again. We can always raise our target again after the third quarter. So maybe that's what management is doing here, or maybe all of the efficiencies that they were able to capture to increase production, they captured it in the second quarter and they don't have that room to capture that benefit again. So that remains to be seen. That's an interesting thing to look out for. I'm placing a 25% probability that Rivian will increase their production guidance again in the third quarter. So I'm cautiously optimistic that they will increase the production guidance again after Q3. But that's all I've got for this video, highlighting what's going on with Rivian stock. Thank you so much for watching. I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.